Thank you all for being here for this last of this 4-week, midweek spiritual awakening service experience. And I just want to say I feel really privileged to have been able to spend these 4 weeks with you guys. It's been really amazing. I found this quote by Nikola Tesla that seemed appropriate to share with you tonight. He said, "If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration." Isn't that something? I thought, wow, that's kind of what we've been doing. We've talked about vibration here, and from the people nodding over the last 3 weeks, I arrived at the feeling that a lot of you have arrived at the same or similar conclusions that I have even prior to being here, that we are energy beings living in an energy universe, and that everything is about vibration and frequency. And we talked about healing as a vibrational activity. We talked about really living as a vibrational activity. Our bodies, our feelings, our emotions, thoughts, and beliefs are all vibration or energy in movement, or not, if it's stuck. We've talked about denser energies moving more slowly, and these include the lower vibrating emotions like fear and anger and shame, and how these slower vibrating emotions can get stuck so that we get locked in patterns. And we talked about how quite a bit of our work is about getting our energy moving again so that we can be at choice. This is what we've been doing for the last few weeks in these healing services. We've been releasing or transforming stuck energy so that we can be free to have a different experience, if we choose, in this world of form. But at least then we have a choice. And I'm sure that some of you have noticed over the last few weeks, as we release or unstick this slower vibrational areas of our energy body and our physical body, we might experience emotions like grief or anger or irritation or fear, or have uncomfortable body sensations like burning or tingling or a headache. And if this has happened to you, or if it does happen to you, do your best to not worry about it. This is normal. It's natural. It will pass with time. Don't stop. Breathe, and do your best to remain in a place of non-resistance, and know that it'll pass. And when it does, you will feel better and more free on the other side. I'm not sure if I've shared with you yet, when I was working on, when I was younger, loving myself was something that was super hard to do. When I first started even trying to run the energy of love in my body, I would get physically uncomfortable in about 30 seconds, and I would have to get up and move. But the more I kept working on it, the more my system adjusted to it so that I could do that for longer and longer periods of time. And it's the same thing that we're doing here. So you might find that you get uncomfortable, whether that's emotionally or physically, and that's okay. And you just do your best with it, to move through it. And I promise you that on the other side, if you hang in there, you will have greater freedom, physically and emotionally and spiritually. The solfeggio frequencies that we're using are also supporting the removal of energetic blockages from your body so that your energy can circulate more freely. If it's an emotion, it's good to, if you can, stay with the emotion. Allow yourself to feel it. A lot of times emotions get stuck because we didn't complete feeling them. I don't know how many of you guys are good at shutdown. I'm really good at shutdown. And if we stop it in the middle, then it stays stuck there. And so when we encounter it again, just go ahead and feel it again and let it process all the way out. And know that if it comes up, that means you're ready to let it go. It means it's safe to feel it. It's okay. Someone asked that I review the frequencies that we've used so far. So the first Wednesday, we used the 528 hertz frequency, also known as the love frequency, and it's said to be present throughout nature, and that both chlorophyll and DNA vibrate at that 528 hertz. The second service, we used 432 hertz frequency, which is reputed to have the potential to synchronize both hemispheres of our brain, which then can maximize our potential as thinkers, artists, and spiritual beings. And I actually learned a little bit more about that over the last week, and that apparently is not one of the original solfeggio frequencies. However, it is used quite a bit by a lot of people. And then last week, we used the 396 hertz, which was said to facilitate the release of guilt and fear by lowering our emotional defense mechanism, which then can help unblock those subconscious beliefs around guilt and fear and transform them into joy and forgiveness. And when I do, again, I think I've mentioned this, but when I do one-on-one work with people, fear and grief are the things that I see the most that people get stuck on. They're heavier, slower, and as people start to release those, it is amazing what happens both physically and emotionally, and choice, that's best, not good language, but that people feel at greater ease and more at choice as they let that go. So tonight we're going to be using, yes? They said it synchronizes both hemispheres of the brain. Yeah, there was some more in there, but I can't remember, can't pull it up right now. So tonight we're going to be using the 741 frequency, which is also called a spiritual detox. This frequency is said to support the literal removal of toxins from our bodies, and it can clear our energy field as well from those lower, slower emotional vibrations. One of the sites said it helps people find greater creative expression. So, again, like last week, I'm going to talk a little less because I think everyone here is pretty well acquainted with what we're doing. And again, like last week, I'd like you to focus first on what it is that you're wanting to manifest, and then go back of it to the vibrational essence of what that is. So if we remember the words of Unity co-founder Charles Fillmore, it is the law of spirit that we must be that which we would draw to us. If we would draw to us love, we must be love, be loving and kind. If we would have peace and harmony in our environment, we must establish it within ourselves. Focus on what you are wanting to manifest, and become that, be that. And I think oftentimes we get it, and I think Dr. Richards talked about this a lot, we get it in reverse. We think if we try and pull it to ourselves from the outside in. But if we actually vibrate, if we start to vibrate there, let our energy body vibrate there, we actually pull it to us. Or as one, Michael Beckwith says, we actually pull it from within us. That if we want love, if we become love, love will just naturally be drawn to us. If we want abundance, if we actually become abundant, become aware of how abundant we are, and figure out what that frequency feels like vibrating in our energy system, it will be drawn to us. And again, as we've talked about in the process of that, all the stuff that's not like that will also crop up first for us to release in order to be able to hold that vibration. Does that make sense? Okay. So, are you ready? We're going to get started a little earlier tonight. So, please place both your feet on the floor and allow your body to relax. Allow your eyes to gently close. Allow your body to feel heavy. Imagine you're in a place in nature where your body just relaxes, where it lets out a sigh of release, where it feels heavier, where it feels grounded, where it feels safe. Wherever that is for you, whether it's by the water or in the mountains. Make yourself as comfortable as you can in your nature environment. Let your body feel as safe as you can make it. And as your body relaxes, Let's enter that world within. That world where all lines fall away. Where we can't find that place where on the outside we think something ends and we begin. That place inside where we know that we are limitless. That there are no boundaries. We know we are one. Breathe deeply into that space in and around your heart, and acknowledge that the one life is the only thing that's happening. And that you are one with that. And I'm going to begin again with beautiful prayer written by Dr. Richard. Let your first prayer in all things be for a consciousness which can support all the good you desire to experience. Let your first prayer in all things be for a consciousness which can support all the good you desire to experience. This is the prayer which will catapult you into a life of steadfast, serendipitous wonder. And the only thing that you'll have to relinquish to experience this is the illusion that you know what's best for your life. The flower doesn't know how to grow its bloom. The human doesn't know how to beat its heart. The planet doesn't know how to navigate its path. And yet there's a wisdom within each of these things which does know how to grow the flower's bloom, which does know how to beat the human's heart, which does know how to navigate the planet's path, each with startling precision. And you are a unique expression of this wisdom, this one life, which forever explores the limitlessness of its world through the limitlessness of its creation. You are a once-in-a-lifetime individualization of the only life that exists. There has never been another you. There will never be another you. And you are immersed in limitless possibility regarding every area of your life. And this being true, let our first prayer in all things be for a consciousness which can support all the good we desire to experience. yourself to be immersed in the knowing that you are one with this one infinite presence, this one life. That the power that it is the power that you are, the power that we are. Know that the wisdom that it is the wisdom that we are. There is that within you that knows exactly what to do. Allow the unconditional love that is already part and parcel of your being. That is what you are made of. Allow it full expression. In this moment. If there's anything that appears to stand in the way of a fuller expression of this unconditional love, breathe into it. Know that what and who you are is more powerful than the shadow of an old belief or an old pattern. Allow the power of who you are to breathe into that space with love and confidence, and allow it to dissolve. Be in a place of non-resistance. Allow the unconditional love to move into that place. So that is the vibration that exists in that place now. As you do that, you are vibrating just a little bit higher. again into that capital T truth of this infinite consciousness, this infinite power, this infinite mind, this infinite love, this infinite life that is both infinite and exquisitely intimate. Intimate as you, intimate as me. Just by virtue of being infinite. And as you lean deeper into that knowing, breathe in what that must mean. It must mean that the love that it is, we are because we are of it. The power that it is, we are because we are of it. The wisdom that it is, we are because we are of it. Ground yourself in that truth. Bring it into your bones. And then know that you can choose what you want to express. You can choose life and love, freedom. As you match those higher vibrations, notice if anything comes up that is unlike that. Not bad, not good, just unlike. And ask yourself if you want to continue to carry that forward. And if not, breathe into it. Breathe those higher vibrations into those slower moving places. Allow them to dissolve. Become resistless to what comes up. Just let it be. Let it dissolve. Let it transmute. Fall away into the earth. It will be transmuted. And allow that higher frequency to move into its place. Vibrating know that as we sit in these solfeggio vibrations, that the vibrations themselves are cleansing your cells and your energy body of toxins, which are just vibrations in and of themselves. Just allow that to happen. If any sensations come up, just let them be. Observe. Allow. Breathe into them. Just allow the vibrations to do their work. an infinite life, an infinite power. We are of it, for there is nothing else for us to be made out of but this one infinite, conscious, aware substance. This one life, this one presence. And it is not all powerful, it is all power. It is not all wise, it is all wisdom. It is not loving, it is love itself. And that is what we are. So we lean a little deeper into that truth, a little more confidently. We let it saturate us a little bit more deeply. And from that consciousness, from that place of knowing, we allow ourselves to express more fully that which we are wanting to express. And if anything comes up again, we are more confident in knowing it is shadow, it's slow moving energy. We allow it to dissolve. We allow it to be back in movement. And whatever is released as it moves back into movement flows easily down into the earth or is transmuted. Or dissolves back into the nothingness. And as it does so, our energy raises, our vibration raises just a little bit more, and we are a little bit freer and a little bit more at choice. Just take a moment to bask in the higher vibration that you are now at. Take a moment to bask in that and feel how that feels. Oh, and allow gratitude to rise. For the deeper knowing of who you are, who we are. Just bask in that for a moment. Feel what you feel like now, physically and energetically, in your full auric field. And allow gratitude to rise for the shift that has taken place, for the deeper knowing of who we are. And so it is.